It's that time of year. It is Dynasty Startup season. And if you're planning on doing a Dynasty Startup either really soon or anytime soon this year, you want to get your picks right and have a team that can compete right out of the gate. I got you covered. These are my 10 best picks in Dynasty Startup drafts right now. I'm going to go round by round and give you my very best picks in every single round. Plus, I'm going to give you my honorable mentions, other picks I like in every single round. Now, for this video, I do need to say this is a non-Superflex, a 1 QB league. Obviously, Superflex will be a bit different, and I will do a video for that down the road. But for this video, it's going to be 1 QB, non-Superflex. So let's start with round 1. And of course, the honorable mentions here are everyone. Like, all the picks in round 1 are great picks. Hard to go wrong with anybody in round 1, but the best value has to be Malik Nabers. This guy isn't even 22 years old yet. Just had one of the best rookie wide receiver seasons we've ever seen. And you got to think the Giants are going to do anything, almost anything will be an upgrade for him at quarterback. So in round 1, if you can grab Malik Nabers, do it. I think he is the best value on the board in round 1. In round 2, I'm going to say honorable mentions. Drake London, still not even 24 years old, and he was great with Michael Penix Jr. down the stretch. Jackson Smith-Njigba, not even 23 years old yet, had a great year 2 breakout. And I'm still buying into Marvin Harrison Jr., the talent here again. Still not even 23 years old, but just got to be Brian Thomas Jr. has got to be the best pick in round 2. Again, not even 23 years old here, barely over 22 years old. Just had a fantastic season with basically Mac Jones for half of the year. Should have a healthy Trevor Lawrence next year. Doug Peterson being fired. Not sure that's a good or bad thing for him, but it's whatever. But Brian Thomas Jr. looked fantastic as a rookie. If you can get Brian Thomas Jr. in round 2, you got to do it. He is the best value in round 2 of Dynasty Startups. Now into round 3, if you're going to go QB early, I like Jalen Hurts here. Not even 27 years old yet. This guy has been like a weekly top 5 QB every week he plays pretty much. Still going to get tush-push touchdowns. Going to give you production through the air. Has A.J. Brown, has Devonta Smith in this great offense. So Hurts, if you want to go QB early, is a great one here. As is Ladd McConkey, another year 2 wide receiver. Man, those rookie wide receivers are great. Not even 24 years old yet, but I'm going to go running back here. I'm going to go Bucky Irving. If we're going to compete in year 1, we can't just completely punt running back. Bucky Irving, not even 23 years old, was phenomenal as a rookie this year. This is his backfield now. Next year, it's going to be him with Rachaad White, just basically being the change of pace back. He looked great. The running game looked great. And again, not even 23 years old. This guy could be your RB1 for years to come. So let's go get Bucky Irving in round 3. Now into round 4, yes, I like George Pickens here. Not even 24 years old. Showed the flashes of that upside. He's got risk, but he's got upside. Same with DJ Moore, like just under 28 years old right now. Attached to Caleb Williams, that's good. You know the Bears are going to bring in a new head coach, new offensive scheme. That should help everybody here. But I'm going to go a little bit older. I'm going to say Terry McLaurin is the pick in round 4. Yes, he's just under 30 years old right now, but he didn't show any signs of slowing down, and we know he's got Jaden Daniels as his QB next year and beyond. So even though he's a little bit older than the other wide receivers, I'm going to go Terry McLaurin. This is a guy who can be a top 10, top 12 wide receiver next year and help you win a championship in year 1. So let's grab him in round 4. Then in round 5, honorable mentions here, Chris Olave. His price has dropped, of course, because of the concussion scare, the fact that he hasn't given you production, but this guy still isn't even 25 years old. The potential is there. I would have no problem grabbing him in round 5. And again, if you want to go QB here, I would have no problem grabbing Kyler Murray. I know, disappointing, I should say frustrating season, right? Up and down, but he's not even 28 years old. He's got upside. If you're punting QB in a 1 QB league, nothing wrong with Kyler here. But I think the pick I like the best is Jordan Addison. I've talked about him on a couple of videos now. This guy not even 23 years old yet, entering year 3 in this Vikings offense that is probably going to be the exact same offense next year that we saw this year. Jordan Addison was great in the second half of the season last year. He's got tremendous upside, and he's only going to get better. He's a talented wide receiver. Give me Addison in round 5 if you can. And then in round 6, some picks I like here. Jamison Williams, I talked about him a couple times, not even 24 years old yet in this Lions offense, just oozing with upside. You got to like that. A couple of young QBs here. Drake May looked good as a rookie. You've got to think the Patriots are going into next season. New coaching staff with Drake May and a ton of cap space and a high-end draft pick to help out that offense. And Bo Nix, again, looked great as a rookie. Got to feel like next year he's going to get better. Another year in this Sean Payton offense. But I actually think there's another quarterback I like here more. So if you haven't grabbed your quarterback yet in a 1QB league, I would just go get Brock Purdy. He's only 25 years old still. He's been great each of the last 2 years for fantasy. He's in this Shanahan offense, this 49ers offense, which is still a fantasy-friendly offense when everybody is healthy. So if I'm going to punt QB and wait till this point, I'm going to get Brock Purdy. And then around 7, the pickings do start to slim down quite a bit. But look, if you still don't have a QB, there's nothing wrong with Baker Mayfield here. He's still not even 30 years old. Each of his last 2 years with Tampa Bay, he's been fantastic for fantasy. That shouldn't change next year. Now, if you want to go wide receiver, there's a couple guys I like here. I do like Josh Downs, still under 24 years old. Of course, we got to be worried that it's probably going to be another year of Anthony Richardson next year, and we've seen how that has been. So I'm just going to go with Xavier Worthy as the best pick here. This guy isn't even 22 years old yet, and as the season went on, he started to show his potential. You got to think next year, going into year 2, it's going to show even more. So Xavier Worthy at this spot has the age and the upside I am looking for in Dynasty. Then in round 8, if we're looking for tight end finally, I like Mark Andrews here. He's still under 30 years old. Another productive season with Lamar Jackson. No reason to think he'll slow down next year. You could also gamble on another year 2 wide receiver, Keon Coleman. Again, not even 22 years old in this Bills offense. But I'm going to actually go with a different tight end here because we do need a tight end. I'm going to go with David Njoku. It gives you a 1-year age difference on Mark Andrews, which is big. And he's been very productive each of the last 2 years. David Njoku has shown he can be productive with whoever the quarterback is. So I'm going to take that 1-year age discount on Mark Andrews and go with Njoku in this spot. And then in round 9, I don't mind Ramondre Stevenson as my RB2. He's still not even 27 years old. He's under contract here. Again, I think the Patriots are going to do some good things on offense this year. They have the cap room to improve the offensive line, bring in some more weapons, but I don't love Ramondre Stevenson necessarily. If you're still looking for a tight end, I think Tucker Kraft is a great value here, only 24 years old. We saw his involvement in this offense, and now, sadly, with Christian Watson, a torn ACL, we're probably not going to see a lot of Christian Watson next year. That could be a bump to Tucker Kraft. But I'm actually going to go with a different RB here, and that is Najee Harris. He's a little bit younger than Ramondre Stevenson, just over 26 years old, but we know this guy is going to be the workhorse running back. Now, granted, Najee Harris doesn't have tremendous weekly upside, but as your RB2, you know he's going to give you a floor week in and week out. So let's just go with Najee Harris and lock up our RB2. And then in round 10, I definitely like Jacoby Myers here, still just barely over 28 years old, had a productive year with the Raiders. Whoever the quarterback is, he should be productive once again. I'm also fine gambling on year 2 wide receiver Xavier Legette. He's still under 24 years old. He's got a bunch of upside. Yes, he's got risk. He's not a polished wide receiver, but he's got the upside, and Bryce Young showed definite signs of improvement in year 2. But I'm going to go with another running back, and that is J.K. Dobbins. Barely 26 years old. Does not have a lot of wear and tear on him here because a lot of injuries. Looked good this season with the Chargers. You got to think they're going to run it back with him as the RB1 next year in an offense that wants to run the football and lean on the defense. So getting J.K. Dobbins here feels like a good deal. Now, I'm not going to continue to go round by round because Dynasty drafts can go 25, 30 rounds deep, and we'll be here all day. But I'm just going to give you some of my late round favorite players at each position. At running back, I like Tank Bigsby, under 24 years old. Could be the lead back in Jacksonville next year. At wide receiver, Jalen McMillan. Why is Jalen McMillan still ranked this low? Not even 24 years old. Had a great second half of his rookie season. I know Evans will be back, but Godwin, maybe not. I'd be willing to take a chance on McMillan. And then I think Hollywood Brown's got to be one of the biggest values on the board. This guy is still only 27 years old. He's in this Chiefs offense. We saw in those games where he came back from that injury, his involvement in this offense, it's only going to grow. Obviously, the risk here is injury. He's had a lot of injury issues in his career so far, but if he stays healthy, man, this guy has upside. And then finally, Marvin Mims, not even 23 years old. Finally, the Broncos started using this guy different ways. We saw that upside. Again, another guy who maybe you're not going to rely on him week in, week out, but he's got that weekly upside when you need it. And then a tight end, whether you need depth or you haven't grabbed your tight end yet, I like a guy like Jake Ferguson, still only 26 years old. Pat Freiermuth, barely over 26 years old. We saw him have a nice year this year with Russell Wilson. Got to think the Steelers, it's either going to be Russ, Fields. They're going to bring in a decent quarterback. And I also really like Noah Gray, not even 26 years old. Had some decent production, even with Travis Kelce there. Look, there's a chance at any moment Travis Kelce says, no, I'm done. I'm just going to go tour with Taylor Swift all year. Noah Gray would slot in as a tight end 1 under contract with the Chiefs until 2027. a great late round pick. And then finally at QB, I still think Dak is a great late round pick. He's not even 32 years old yet. I'm going to bet on a Dak bounce back. I also like Sam Darnold here. He's not even 28 years old yet. Sure, he kind of wet the bed here when it mattered, in that game against the Lions, but we don't care about that. For fantasy, he was mostly great this year, and I do think they're just going to run it back. They're going to bring him back either on the franchise tag, a one-year deal, or maybe even a long-term extension. So Darnold, I like him as well, but my favorite really has to be Bryce Young here. Got to be one of the best values in all of Dynasty right now. Not even 24 years old. They've already said he's our franchise QB. He showed great improvement year 1 to year 2. Why couldn't he show even more improvement in year 3? So there you go. Those are the guys I think are the 10 best picks in Dynasty startup drafts right now. But if you want to see the 10 guys you need to go buy low on, you can find out who they are in this video right here.